This is the exterior inspection. We're at the rear left elevation. We have a flashing up here on the roof that's installed incorrectly. This is one of the compressors to the property, and it's not level. That should be made level, because left as it is at the moment unlevel, it's going to cause wear of the machinery. There's a lot of the insulation that's broken and worn away on the coal pipe here, and that needs to be replaced. The grading is intended to direct flow of water along in this direction. And what we've got here, we've got some debris and some bricks and rock in the way, and they're going to stop the water flowing. So you should remove those, because it's made to allow it to go in that direction. We have a drain here and we have a drain there, and we want both of them to be able to be used in a heavy rainstorm. We're moving now to the rear elevation. Up here we've got a leaking gutter. You can see it's leaking, it's falling down, it's hitting here. You can see water splashes, stains, see where the water's running here. So you want to get that gutter fixed. Now we're at the right elevation of the property, and you can see the compressor units here, very dirty down the bottom there, and there's a lot of damage to the fins. That needs to be combed out. It's going to reduce the efficiency of the unit. Now, having further examined this compressor, compressor, I can tell you that it's you need to have an air conditioning engineer look at it. It's in very poor condition and it's been through a rust freeze cycle. You can see down there the damage to the fins. It may be that it requires replacement. It certainly will get called out by an inspector, and they'll be around demanding something like this is fixed. Almost certainly, if I was dealing with the client buying it, I would say you want a new one. So that is something you should look at getting replaced. Oh, that's novel. I like that. Now you've added a hose here to take the runoff from a condenser out of the house, out of the property. Really what you should be doing is fixing the problem. That shouldn't actually run. When that runs, it's indicating to you that there is a problem up there that needs to be fixed. It may, of course, that may be talking out of turn here, it could have been fixed. But we'll be looking at that when I get into the attic, and I'll advise you once I've had a good look at the unit. Again, all of the units require replacement insulation. I'm at the front elevation now. Here we've got a new-ish compressor. There's no insulation on the cold pipes, so it's not going to be running very efficiently. You need to get that serviced. And also you can see here the conduit with the power lines is broken, and the actual cables are lying in the dirt. That could be dangerous. Now at the front elevation now, there's a little bit of erosion going on here. Down the bottom you can see the portions of the actual foundation that used to be below grade. It just needs to be rebuilt around this area. Bring in some backfill dirt, backfill it so you've got a slope away from the foundation. Yes, you can see here how it's eroded. Oh, and here we've got a faucet that's leaking. It's been leaking for some time. the deck is raised above the ground sufficiently high to require a fence. Now I know these are benches, but it won't surprise you to know that the requirements are a little different from what you have with benches, and you should have what is effectively a fence around it to stop people falling off. I'll put details on what you should have, and also an explanation of this is what it is, and unless the people have got children, I don't think it would be too bothered about it. This is the porch light in the front here, and it's loose. Not only is it loose, it also should be corked around here to prevent water getting in, and that goes for the other one back there too. So you need to get this tightened up. It should be pretty straightforward to do, and then a bit of corking around here so that it doesn't allow water to get behind it. There's a little bit of cracking here at the cold joint. Cold joint is the zone where the concrete patio here has been laid against the concrete foundation. They were both laid at a different time, and although they were laid up against one another, or one was wet, the other was dry, this crack has appeared. It's not to be expected. It isn't anything to really worry about. We're at the front left elevation, and we have two fogged windows. So on the day of the inspection, the foundation seemed to be very little cracking. There's some cracks here and there. They occurred when the actual building was, well, the slab was put down. It's to be expected. I'm standing at the right rear elevation. I'm not going to be able to inspect the whole roof because it's too steep. There's only certain areas I can get to easily without safety lines. There are a little bit of wear of the shingles. This is because of the age. I can't precisely age a roof, but I can tell that it's getting a bit old. See here, these shingles are damaged. This is typical of where it may have been hit. You might have had a little bit of a hailstorm, and a hailstone hit there. There are some dents on the vent here, again often caused by hail. This is the flashing I saw from the ground where it's slightly damaged, and we have damage to the ridge here, and that should be fixed because almost certainly water is going to get under there. I'm looking at the furnace. There's two furnaces in the air handlers in the attic, and we've got this furnace here, and you can see the cover for it has fallen off, or it's been removed. If it's a cover at all, it may not be. What I can't see is a safety tray underneath that unit. The secondary condensate line is running. It's dripping into the tray here. It's running down to the bottom, and it's been doing that for a long while. What that means is this primary drain line here, this one, is probably blocked, and that definitely needs to be cleared, because this is intended just to be a safety measure, not to actually take the runoff. The runoff should come out here. This is the water heater installation, and we have a furnace. We have doors that close, which we should do, but they do not have a weather seal on it, and it should have a weather seal, because it should only be drawing air from the outside, not the inside. Now there's another thing going on here too, which is not good. We've got air leaking out here. Now what that can do is it can pressurise the cupboard, and it can cause backdrafting. In other words, the fumes, instead of actually coming out of the chimney and up the flue, they can get sucked back, get a reverse action, get sucked back into the house, and that's when you get carbon monoxide. This is the furnace and air conditioning filter, and you can see the actual door to the unit has been left open. You never want to leave these open. They always should be closed. It's very simple to close it. Whoever came up here and changed it, you can close it. And this is the unit. And you can see here we've got a damaged cable. People have been treading on it. You see how it's all rubbed, and the actual insulation is starting to go. This is the condensing unit, and there's no safety tray under it. Here we've got flexible gas cable piping going into the cabinetry. That's dangerous, it can get cut. We've also got a power line going in, that can get cut. It should be bushed, and that flexible pipe, where it actually passes into the cabinet, should be changed to steel pipe. This unit is resting on the joists. Shouldn't do that, it should be suspended. When they rest on the joists, they can allow vibrations from the unit to be transmitted into the house and to cause problems. Actually gives you lots of noise, which you don't want. This is the return air for the AC located in the closet here. So the plenum here is taking the air back, and this must be the return, it's called. This air is cold. It's going down into the crawl space beneath us. In the master bedroom we have a register here, and that's the only register. We've got a return air here. No, we haven't. That's a register. There's another one behind there, and a register. Right, okay. Under the side, the dresser there. Yeah. Well, there's some modification you could do to make it very. This is a return for the air handler, which is above us in the left-hand elevation of the building. The return is a little undersized for the area it's serving, although the operation of the unit is pretty good. We've got drop here, what's our minimum? 45, and we got 61, that's 16 degrees, so that's not too bad. I think a bit of work on the air conditioning units, servicing them, bringing them up to spec. They're really poorly serviced. I don't know who's been doing your service. You've got to fire them and get somebody decent. Anyway, never mind that. Water heater, you can see it's actually sitting on the floor directly. It doesn't have a safety pan. It should do. It's easy enough to fit one, especially on an outside wall where you can run the drainage outside the house itself. Here we have the flue. And the flue hood. It's actually not secured with screws, it should be. Now the temperature pressure release valve doesn't work, so that's going to need replacing. There's no setup for the gas line. We have a little crack in the firebox here. It just needs to be caulked with fireproof caulking, and I'd recommend that the actual chimney itself is swept. If it's not been swept in the last 4 or 5 years and it's been used once, really, twice, 3 or 4 times a year, there's going to be some creosote up there, and it could cause a fire. And the sweeper can also check the internal of the fire to make the chimney to make sure it's safe. Last month when it did the GFCIs, yeah. The water meter for the house and the isolation valve are at the curb. There's the house up here, and the water meter is here. This is hose bib. We're at the rear elevation here. and you can see that it's leaking. It's going to get water into the wall here, so you want to replace this valve. And also on all the hose bibs around the house you need to fit an anti-siphon device. You get those, they're a few bucks from Home Depot, and that stops backflow. There's a flow drain at the vanity unit in the guest bathroom. But it is draining. there's no GFCI for the hydrotherapy tub that I can see. Zone run is the front yard down to the street. Zone 2, backyard or front yard back, and flower beds. Zone 3 is the front yard up to the house. Zone 4 is the foundation at the front.